I heard Bob got the truck unloaded. I wonder if he's doing anything about Plan 316.
Hey, there's been a change in today's job. The forklift is in the shop, so we'll be using a crane to transfer the old transformer off of the pad and then the new one from the truck to the pad.
Kim, I'm looking at the plan and I see that it says we'll be using a forklift, but it doesn't mention anything about a crane or a suspended load.
You're right, Matt. The forklift broke down on swing shift and we haven't had a chance to revise it. So you guys can go ahead and get started on the job while we get the changes approved.
I have a problem with this. There are 2 unaddressed hazards on the present job plan. I don't know how close the power lines are to the crane, and is a suspended load full of PCBs? I think because of the risk, that would make this a critical lift.
We'll get the changes approved before we start the lifts.
What about the crane being set up so close to the power line without a change being reviewed and approved? I'm also concerned that once we get the old transformer disconnected, someone will think it's urgent and want to install the new one before we've had time to get a new work order approved.
We need to get the utility involved with this power line issue. People die doing stuff like this without everyone being on the same page.
I'll make sure that the changes are reviewed and approved before we start the lifts. If we don't have an approved work plan by the time that we're set up for the lifts, then we can call stop work then.
If we're out there working, how can we be part of the pre-job review? We need to take time to think about this.
Kim, wait a minute, let's talk.
What now?
I know he gets on your nerves sometimes. He does the same thing with me too. But all emotion aside, I think we have a real problem here. I'm not sure why we're in such a hurry with this.
Because I just spent 2 hours trying to get a workaround because the damn forklift is out of commission.
Okay, sorry, but like it or not, Dave is right about the power line. I've been out there. That power line is way too close to operate a crane safely.
I'm going to get this package changed. You guys better get out there and get started on it. I'm tired of this whole thing.
Sorry, Kim, but we're not getting started until we have a revised work package in hand. I think if you take a minute to think about it, you'll see things differently.
Oh, okay.
Should they start the job with the agreement that they can and will call a stop work when they believe there's an imminent hazard? Why would a supervisor choose to take this approach? If they had an approved work plan, is changing equipment just a minor issue? What effect do elevated emotions have on this conversation? How could this situation have a better outcome?
We'll get the changes approved before we start the lift.
What about the crane being set up so close to the power line without a change being reviewed and approved? I'm also concerned that once we get the old transformer disconnected, someone will decide it's urgent to install the new one before we have an approved work plan.
We need to get the utility involved with this power line issue. People die doing stuff like this without everyone being on the same page.
I'll make sure that the changes are reviewed and approved before we start the lifts. If we don't have an approved work plan by the time that we're set up for the lifts, then we can call stop work then.
If we're out there working, how can we be in on the pre-job review? We need to take a moment to review this.
You're right. Sorry. I was so worried about working around the broken forklift that I guess I'm just too close to the problem. We just had a meeting on management of change last week and I'm doing everything that they're saying not to do. So let's take another look at this and see what we need to get this done the right way.
Okay, so I think the first thing we should do is contact the utility company and find out.
10 CFR 851.20, Management Responsibilities and Worker Rights and Responsibilities. B. Worker rights and responsibilities. Workers at a covered workplace have the right, without reprisal, to 8. Decline to perform an assigned task because of a reasonable belief that, under the circumstances, the task poses an imminent risk of death or serious physical harm.